guys!
Hey guys!
It's time for another Supergirl review. This time we're reviewing Supergirl Season 1, Episode 3, titled Fight or Flight. If you haven't seen the episode yet and you want to avoid any spoilers, you're going to want to skip this video and come back later because everything we say from this point forward is going to be a spoiler. Okay, Episode 3 picks up right where Episode 2 left off, with Kara giving her interview to Cat Grant, and there's a really interesting commentary on sexism in the media in this interview, where Kara basically calls Cat out and was like, do you ask my cousin these kinds of questions? And yeah, she's right, they don't ask Superman these kind of questions, but she also gives away, her familial affiliation with Superman.
She's not quite adept at keeping a secret identity. So, obviously they all know she's from the same planet as Superman, but they didn't realize that they were related. She kind of, let that slip.
And that becomes the story, is that she's Superman's cousin, rather than, more personal, take on her. Her relationship to Superman dominates the headlines. But the main theme throughout the episode is Kara does not want to ask for help from her cousin. So when he, swoops in to save the day, it does come off as, okay, well, what the heck is going on? But we find out that it was Jimmy Olsen who asked for help.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, that took Jimmy down a little bit in my view.
Yeah, but it did kind of tie in his story a little bit, because the reason why he left was because he was relying on that button too much. Every time he got in trouble, he just called Superman, and he needed to step away from that.
Yeah. But he still does rely on it a little too much.
But he redeems himself at the end by risking his life because he knew Kara would save him.
Mm-hmm. The really interesting thing that this episode sets up, though, is the idea in the comics that Kara is actually more powerful than her cousin, not because she's, physically stronger or has more powers and abilities or anything, but because she won't hold back and he does. And I think this might be leading into that a little bit, or at least it could if they decide to go that direction, because this desire she has to not want to ask for help, I think that could lead her to not holding back.
And I think it also kind of stems from the fact that she was sent to take care of him.
Yeah.
And now he's taking care of her. And it's kind of hard on her to accept that, her reason for being sent is kind of obsolete. And that she is now having to do the opposite of what she was sent for.
Yeah, and it's, why am I here? Like, in the literal sense, we have that, kind of philosophical why am I here? But she's dealing with the literal, what I was sent here to do, I can't do, so why am I here? And that's something that, nobody ever has to actually ever deal with. And it's really interesting to see this character on the show deal with it. As far as romantic relationships in the show, it really does seem like the Kara-Jimmy Olsen relationship is going to be the main one. I don't necessarily think I'm feeling that one, though. And I'm not feeling Kara with Wynn either, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel her with Jimmy more so than with Wynn.
Yeah. I don't really feel either one of them. I think we need a new character if they're going to do a romantic relationship.
I think there'll be a reason why she can't be with Jimmy. And I just don't think she sees Wynn that way. Like, he's more of a brother to her.
And he's totally all about her.
Oh, yeah.
And she's completely oblivious to it. Villain of the week this week was Reactron, villain with the worst name ever, which they kind of teased at in the episode. They poked fun at the villain's name, which I thought was cool. But it seemed like, I don't know if Reactron is like a regular Superman villain from the comics. It doesn't sound familiar, but he seems a lot like Metallo for me. So maybe they took Metallo and made Reactron as kind of an ode to that character. But I'm just not sure if Reactron is an actual Superman villain or a Supergirl villain. So if I'm wrong about that, just let me know down in the comments.
And what I really liked about the story was that, the whole thing was about her not wanting help from Superman. And at the very end, she gets, I am from Clark saying, hey, I'm sorry I swooped in and helped you, but ultimately you got him
Yeah.
something that I failed to do.
Yeah.
So, like, kind of, yeah, I helped you, but you outdid me here, too, so don't feel bad about it.
Yeah. And, he gives her a pat on the back, you're doing great, and then he says, don't worry, it won't happen again, talking about helping her with a smiley face.
Yeah.
So I think this probably is the last we'll actually see of Superman in the series.
Which I hope so, because if you have Superman in it too often, it's going to feel like they're trying to use Superman to carry the show, and they don't need to. This show is amazing. Kara carries it all on her own.
The ratings are sliding a little bit, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It's probably mostly due to Monday Night Football. You've got dads who want to watch football and they don't want to watch Supergirl. So once I think the football season ends, we're going to see a pretty decent spike for the show.
Yeah, I hope so.
Hopefully,
the show's awesome.
It's a really good show. If you're not watching it, you should seriously check it out. It's really good. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for this review. If we missed anything, if we got anything wrong, if there's something you think we should have talked about that we didn't, let us know down in the comments and we can discuss it down there. Also, if you enjoyed this review, and we certainly hope you did, be sure to let us know by clicking the like button and subscribe for more reviews.
And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.